What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL, and welcome back to another MLB Prize Picks video with your boy. Drop a like down below because I already know you're gonna love it. Comment anything in the comment section and enter your name into the $50 giveaway I do every single week on this channel. Welcome back to another MLB video with PropsMadeEasy.com. Mike Trout was the big loser yesterday. It sucks having a miss in general when we've just been as hot as we've been, but hey, that's the name of the game, man. We're gonna lose. That is what it is. There's no way to avoid that in general. But making sure you're putting your money on those bets that have that actual data behind them, not just going off last 10, not just going off of Vegas lines, actually going off of analytics, and really only focusing on that. It's the most successful way to place bets in general. And if you do that over the long haul, you'll be more successful. Real quick, I'm just gonna skim through player prop chat real quick because it was another huge day at Props Made Easy. I'm sure we've got a few new. Yeah, we've got Hustler Spirit Enterprises Props Made Easy. What was that? A nice little six-pick hit, beautiful. We have a lot of green, man. Shout out to everybody. I shouted everybody out in the NBA video, but congratulations to all of y'all again. It's like the fifth day straight. We've been just absolutely destroying every night. So congratulations to all of y'all, man. Excited for today. Excited to just keep it going. 990 of you right now. Um, Shout out to all of you. Let's keep getting this money and let's get straight into the MLB picks for today. So, first and foremost, hitter fantasy score obviously is going to be the biggest differential spot. That's just because it's fantasy score. It's a little bit different than all the other spots. So don't go too crazy heavy on the hitter fantasy score. Mix it in with other categories. But first pick that we're going to rock with today is going to be Kyle Tucker. I'm going to roll with Kyle Tucker against Aaron Nola today. His prop line's only at 7. He has done very well against Aaron Nola throughout his career. And this is just a solid spot for him to continue doing that. He's had a solid year so far this year. Extremely consistent at racking up those fantasy points. Dude has been solid. And this is just a good spot for him against a pitcher that he's got a 500 batting average against, a 1.167 ISO, which is ridiculous. Small sample size, which is why it's that high, but crazy. We know the type of power Kyle Tucker has. We know that he's had a good history against Aaron Nola. He has a 286 batting average versus right-handed pitching in general. So I'm going to go ahead, and go ahead and go with Kyle Tucker over fantasy score of 7. There's multiple guys that I'm really, really liking. This is an interesting spot that the tool stance that the tool is taking here against Jacob DeGrom. It likes Anthony Rizzo against DeGrom because of the prop line only being at 5. The prop line's super duper low because of the matchup against DeGrom. As you guys know, Rizzo is a very smart batter, smart, disciplined batter who either finds a way to walk or get on base with hits or whatever. So he's a guy who can consistently get you fantasy points, which is why the tool has him high. Regardless of matchup, they're expecting Rizzo to find a way to get at least 5 fantasy points, and that makes a ton of sense. Projected at 7.85, he's a fantastic bat still. Don't shy away 100% away from him because it's against DeGrom, but I just wanted to mention that because when I was looking at it, I was like, Anthony Rizzo at the top, and then seeing the prop line at only 5 makes a lot of sense with how solid of a bat Rizzo is, and his prop line being that low. It's a good value, period. Based off the data and how well Rizzo does, I get it's against DeGrom, but I mean, this dude's a professional batter. He's hit DeGrom many times. It's a solid spot for him. But yeah, Kyle Tucker's going to be the first play that we're rocking with today. I took a look through pitcher strikeouts and stuff. Nothing's really sticking out to me as like a spot that I really need to get exposure to. None of it's really like, I mean, obviously there's some that are fine, some that are popping solid green differential, but not a ton. I'm kind of in a wait and see spot here. I mean, Giolito's at 5.5. He's consistently hitting that. He's facing a tough Tampa Bay offense, but it's a lot of righties that are better versus left handed pitching in that lineup as well. So he's going to face a lot of righties. Um, Vegas likes the over at minus 140. We have him projected at 5.87, which makes him a 0.37 differential, which officially puts him in the yellow. So the player prop tool can see a way where he succeeds, but can also see a good bit of ways that he could fail in this matchup. That's why it's a yellow. So I haven't been a ton into that. Pitching outs is a spot maybe we can grab some value on later. Nothing crazy right now. As of right now, yeah, hitter fantasy scores the big one popping. I wouldn't go crazy on Rizzo, but maybe sprinkling him in a play or two is interesting. Good spots. I mean, we've got a ton of aces pitching on the slate today, so everybody's got a tough matchup. pretty much. So our first pick is Kyle Tucker, and then let's do a first inning runs for our second. Let me make sure when I pick this, because remember, this takes all games and lets you know if it's going to go over or under. So it isn't necessarily keeping in mind if it's on Prize Picks or not. So let's see. All right, Cubs and the Marlins is expected to go under. Do we have Chicago? Do we have the Cubs and the Marlins on Prize Picks? I don't see that we do. Cubs and Marlins. I don't see Cubs and Marlins. Braves or Mets? Braves and Mets. Yep, there we go. Braves and Mets is on this. So we're gonna rock the. It's our second pick up to today. We're gonna go the under on the Braves and Mets game. We're gonna go under first inning runs allowed. As you can see with the data here, Max Fried has a 0.60 first inning ERA this season. Elite. David Peterson, not near as good, 3.18, but still solid. As you can see, he's green. Still, ERA is not too crazy high. Vegas likes the under at minus 135. This game total's only at 7.5 with these solid pitchers on the mound. Both of these guys combined have a 1.89 ERA. They just don't give up a ton of runs. Both of these guys have a 1.17 whip, which means these dudes are both extremely solid at missing bats. Both of these teams have scored a combined 13 runs in the first inning out of their 26 games. The only negative is the OPS is pretty solid, 0.775. It's in the red, meaning it's not the greatest. I mean, that leans a little bit on the over, but it's very close. As you can see, we have a 0.718 as a green. We have the 775 as a red. So it's not like blowing us out. Look at this one, 0.915. The Rays and the White Sox have been smacking in the first inning. So there's a difference between that. It's not super high. It's barely out of that range where it would be green as well. We find it to have over an 87% chance of hitting in this matchup. So Braves and Mets under. Let's rock that under there. And then the batter that we're going to rock with is Kyle Tucker over 7 fantasy points. Let's go, Kyle. Against Aaron Nola. He's had a ton of success against Nola already. Like I said, on this slate today, we have a lot of guys going against elite pitching. We have everybody's pretty much ace up on the mound today. So we got a lot of good pitching in this game. So taking a home bat who has the lefty righty platoon split is going against a pitcher he's had success with just makes a lot of sense. All right, Kyle Tucker over 7, Atlanta Braves and Mets under. All right. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Let's get this money once again, baby. PropsMadeEasy.com if you want to join up there. Only $15 a month. Makes it easy to choose the props that are the best props, smartest props to go with for the day. If you want my personal picks that I'm playing for the day that I decide to roll with, I put those over at greenlightdfs.com. My other company, it's a daily fantasy sports company where I build optimal lines for DraftKings and FanDuel. If you're interested in lineups for DraftKings and FanDuel, you can go right here to more and DFS content, and it'll bring you over to Greenlight DFS, the other company. And that's where I study all day to make the most optimal DFS lineups that you can for DraftKings and FanDuel. One for each, just an optimal line for each. We also have an optimizer over there that can generate up to 150 versions using our projections and stuff like that. So a lot of content. You also get access to all of these tools from Props Made Easy over at Greenlight as well with membership. So whatever you want to do, whether it's daily fantasy sports, you want to do lineups and go for that huge first place prize. If you want to play player props, your boy got you covered, man. Props Made Easy is the best when it comes to player props. Greenlight DFS is the best when it comes to optimal lines and putting you in position to be successful in daily fantasy sports. So thank you guys for joining me as always, man. Let's just keep getting this money. Appreciate y'all, and I'm out.